Well, last week, thousands of people gathered at the state capitol in Nashville for Matt Walsh's rally to end child mutilation. The mission? To speak up for the large majority of Americans who oppose medical child abuse disguised as gender-affirming care. Here's just a glimpse of the event through our Huckabee cameras, which were there.
We're starting a movement here, so it's like you don't know exactly what to expect, but the people came out in full force. And of course we had the counter-protesters on the other side, but they were outnumbered probably 20 to 1. And also they gave us an interesting contrast of, those people who want to shut down conversation as opposed to us, and the fact that we're standing for something, we're standing for truth. And you leave an event like this, and I feel hope, and I feel some that we have momentum, that there's a real movement growing from here.
Well, Matt Walsh is doing some important work protecting kids from this ideology, but we need to remember that one of the primary ways the anti-scientific transgender ideology has gained a foothold in the culture was in the women's locker room. Riley Gaines was a multi-record-breaking 4-time SEC championship gold medal college swimmer. She tied for 5th at the NCAA Women's Championships against trans swimmer Lia Thomas. Lia received his medal. Riley, well, has not. Furthermore, she went up against Lia Thomas again for the NCAA's Woman of the Year event. Keep that in mind, Woman of the Year. Now Riley is fighting to preserve women's sports for women by heading up the 9 PAC. Would you please welcome a real hero, somebody with the guts to stand up and fight back, Riley Gaines. Give her a big welcome. Riley, you have real guts to take on the sports world, because right now the pressure is, well, just accept the fact that biological men are going to be competing against you.
Right. That's exactly what this has turned into. And I hate to say that it takes courage to state something that is so blatantly obvious. Men and women are different. But it has, as a society, we've gotten to a point where it requires bravery to say that. So I appreciate that.
Riley, I have to believe that there are many, if not, yes, give her a hand for that. That there are many, if not most, of the women athletes who have worked so hard under Title IX to have some, really some skin in the game, to be able to participate in sports and have the support of their universities. Now seeing it just thrown away.
Right. Yeah.
Are there people upset about it but just don't want to talk about it?
Of course. This is the 50th anniversary of Title IX, so this goes back half a century of women fighting, longer than that, of women fighting to get equal opportunity. And finally, we get there, and we've done a total 180. I think the left looks at this and thinks this is something that's progressive, but this is regressive. This is taking us back 50-plus years. This is not moving us forward. I think that they think of this as inclusivity, but while being inclusive, we're excluding women, and that's what Title IX was created to protect.
And Riley, I think sometimes people may not understand that Lia Thomas, who was a male and competed, was a mediocre swimmer. I mean, I'm not being unkind, but he was like ranked 432nd or something. But he then transitions and says he's a woman. He's still physically a man, but says he's a woman, and now he's like top ranked.
Right. Yeah, so this is someone who's gone from 400th, 500th ranking in the nation as a male to a national champion as a female. The fastest collegiate female in all of the country, beating out Olympians and American record holders and people who have accomplished things that no other American female has after just 1 year. And in an interview Thomas blamed this on being able to compete happy. I can promise you don't jump that much in the rankings from being happy.
That's interesting. What a great perspective. Now, it also means that he insisted that he go into the women's locker room and he dress with all the women swimmers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is, and that's the reaction that my parents had.
I would think.
My husband has. He doesn't want me changing in a locker room with someone who has full male parts, who still is attracted to females. How uncomfortable. 5 years ago, this would have been some form of sexual harassment or sexual assault. male exposing themselves to a female and watching a female as they undress. But now this is something we're celebrating and we're encouraging, and it's crazy. But actually the Ivy League, they are trying to suppress their girls from speaking out on this. They actually sent an email to their swimmers that said, if you feel uncomfortable seeing male genitalia in the locker room, here are some counseling resources that you should
So
seek.
it's their fault, the girls' fault.
The girls are thought to
Oh my
believe that
gosh.
seeing a man in the locker room and being uncomfortable is wrong.
We used to celebrate modesty and think that it was a virtue. Are we now supposed to believe that it isn't?
Right, yes. By us speaking out, we are transphobic and bigots.
Riley, I do want to say that my understanding is that even in your outspokenness, that your school, University of Kentucky, has been supportive of you. Is that the case?
Yes, which I'm realizing is an anomaly. Our athletic director at the university is so fantastic. I can't say enough good things about him, and I think this speaks volumes on the Southeastern Conference in general, especially in comparison with the Ivy League and other leagues.
Well, I want to say, God bless the University of Kentucky. That's a little hard for this Razorback to admit, but I'm really proud of the University of Kentucky for standing with you on that. Before I let you go, I want you to mention you have created a political action committee to help people get elected. Tell me about that.
Yes, so I'm co-chairing Nine PAC. It is a federal PAC. The intention is to raise money to endorse candidates who are willing to acknowledge that biological women deserve spaces where they can change privately and compete against a fair playing field.
God bless you. I hope people will give to your PAC. I hope that PAC will help get some common sense people elected. Look, I think Riley Gaines is an absolute hero. Even though she's a champion swimmer, I think she's a greater champion for common sense, and I'm so grateful. If you'd like to learn more about Riley Gaines' fight to save women's sports and the Nine PAC, you go to Huckabee.tv. We have a direct connection to what she's doing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I hope you will now. The button is just below this video, and there's a little bell next to it. If you click on those, YouTube will reluctantly start letting you know when we've got a new video uploaded.